Well, good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School basketball. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro with Jim Allinder and Phil Hill for tonight's East Brunswick-North Brunswick game. And we're looking at the girls basketball teams, respective teams from both schools out on the court right now. Jimmy, let's talk about East Brunswick. They come in 15-1. Kind of a tough go for him tonight motivationally.
And that's about the only hill they're going to have to climb is against this North Brunswick team, which Mr. Hill will talk about, 1-16 North Brunswick. So I guess the question begs, what is East Brunswick going to do for motivation? Quite frankly, John, I don't know. They're at a particularly important part of the season in the sense that, you know, any loss is going to damage them as far as GMC seeding. I think they'd like to earn the top seed in the GMCs for prestige more than anything else. They are in good position to get that because we didn't talk about it, but the only team that they lost to, JP Stevens, was beaten the next evening or 2 nights later by Piscataway. Right. So in a sense, we have things even up. We got Bishop Bar with 1 loss, JP Stevens with 1 loss, East Brunswick with 1 loss, and there's Piscataway lurking on the sidelines. And those are generally considered the 4 top teams. So this is basically going to be an exercise in running layups, defense, passing, having fun, nothing more than that. And I'm not going to make any pretense that this is going to be a dramatic game tonight, and we'll leave it at that.
And Phil, we're certainly not trying to cast any disparaging remarks towards North Brunswick, but they do come in with a 1-16 record, a very young team.
I think they're about 1-13 actually, John, but nevertheless a very young team, not a senior on the team. And I spoke to Coach Leon Whalen, and I tell you, he seemed to be rather upbeat considering the circumstances. And right, there's no need to hide it. This is a mismatch. I think Whalen knows that himself, but he's like any good coach. He's going to talk to his team and try to have them as ready as best he can. For East Brunswick, it may be an opportunity for us to see some of the younger players, you know, the Hansons, McBrides, and Cameyes and so forth. So it will serve some purpose, but I think the real story may be red division, white division. Last year, North Brunswick was in the white division, and they were 16-5 overall, 12-2 in the division. This year, they moved to the red division, and you see what's happening. They're taking their lumps, and Jimmy and I talked a little bit about it when we were talking about the boys, the comparative strengths of the divisions, and here's a clear example that the red division is nothing to be played with.
Well, East Brunswick takes on North Brunswick. Certainly their eye is toward the GMC tournament coming up, state tournament coming up, and that's really where they're going to be focusing. I'm sure that Reggie Carney will be looking at a variety of girls because he needs to strengthen that bench as he gets ready for tournament time. So it's East Brunswick, North Brunswick. Tip-off will be in just a moment, and we'll be back with the action right then. And we welcome you to the starter of East Brunswick, North Brunswick tonight at East Brunswick High School. Again, the Bears come in with a 15-1 record. Their only loss to JP Stevens last week. North Brunswick comes in 1-13 or 1-16. It really doesn't matter, I guess, at this point.
It doesn't. Another thing doesn't matter who's starting, but you can't help notice that Kim Reinson and Shelby Camey is starting, and you got to believe that's a message of some sort to the other players on the team.
That's Camey there, number 21. East Brunswick in the green. Whalen.
Only center jump I've ever seen that's gone up 3 feet in the air. That one didn't even go up, guys.
Reinson gives it to King. Inside, Bloor spins. Off the rim, rebound North Brunswick.
And Amanda Nikowitz.
Stolen by Bloor on the drive. And Lady Bears are on top 2-0.
And I may run out of paper here with the number of steals and turnovers we're going to see tonight,
and
guys.
right away we got a turnover. And I tell you, and speaking to Coach Whalen, one of the things he pointed out, the big difference in the red division and the white division is the amount of pressure that they put on you in the red division. In the white division, they tend to sit back somewhat. In the red division, everybody pressures you.
Bloor looking around, gives it to Whalen.
Phil, I guess that Madison Central is the team that dropped down to the white division. They were a red division team for a couple of years.
That's right.
Reinson looking for some help, has it knocked away, but taken over by King. And a foul will be called against Nikowitz. Against Bloor. So East Brunswick will have it under their own basket. Bloor underneath, gets it back out to Whalen. She drives the lane.
3 seconds.
3 seconds called against Courtney Bloor.
Okay, Courtney standing in there too long, and once again the Bears have the pressure defense, and there's no way the Raiders going to be able to contend with that.
King misses the layup. Good feed from Kamai. Whalen looks underneath. There's King, uses the glass, makes it 4-0. North Brunswick having a difficult time getting the ball up court.
Very tough time.
And
offensive foul. And I tell you, Katie Whalen getting good position, and
Latchow just ran her over.
And drew the foul.
Reinson looks across. Whalen underneath. Won't go.
Got to make those shots.
And North Brunswick has it stolen by Whalen.
And she misses again.
Follow-up won't go. North Brunswick yet to take a shot. And they finally cross midcourt. Whalen on the steal. Drives, pulls up, looks underneath Bloor, spins, looks underneath for Kamai. Knocked away, and it'll go to East Brunswick. I'm sorry, North Brunswick.
Once again, the Bears with full court pressure try to break it with.
Opportunity for North Brunswick. And it's off Bloor.
Okay, Katie Whalen coming in and intimidating the player on the shot.
Opeko had the free lane to the basket, just couldn't convert. East Brunswick's on top 4-0, and foul's going to be called against Bloor.
And Jim, let me amplify a little bit on the starters. You got to believe. I mean, they're getting ready to get down to tournament time. You don't want to mess with chemistry, but you got to believe Reggie Carney is saying something about who works hard in practice. The fact that Reinson and Kamai in there means that they've been working hard in practice, and it may be just sort of message. Reggie is not shy about taking action when he has to, and you got to believe that. That's why they're starting.
Well, I think you make a good point, Phil. I think when we asked Reggie Carney what happened before the game, he said that he had a 20-minute talk that was given to his team inside the locker room, and some of the manifestations of that you're seeing on this court.
Quickly down court, Reinson, free opportunity, off the rim. Stays East Brunswick's way.
Well, Coach Whalen.
Whalen, just like Katie's name.
Yes, calls timeout.
And let's listen in on Reggie. Bears are on top 4-0.
Yeah, well, Christmas present. You're all going to layup school. Yep.
Mr. Carney's talking about Katie Whalen's misses.
Everything's fine. Let's just make a layup. All right.
Let's go, guys.
On loop, I remember, Kim, what side are you on? Where you at? You're on this side. Okay, Kim's here. All right, so we got, let's see here. Courtney here, Shelby here, Katie here, left side, Colleen there, all right? Colleen is gonna screen. We're gonna come, all right? Then the back way. Yeah, okay? All right, let's go. Come on, score. 1, 2, 3, score. Come on.
Feel more focused on running some plays.
Right, he's not, as you can tell by his voice, not worried about a darn thing, and he shouldn't be. Did admonish Katie slightly about missing those foul layups, but otherwise, he's not terribly concerned about how they're playing right now.
Reinson looks inside. Bloor gets tied up, fights her way free. Kamai with the follow-up and the basket.
Shelby Kamai, 5'11" sophomore.
Fortunate for North Brunswick that ball went off Courtney Bloor, or it would have been a turnover. I have 6 turnovers thus far.
And our score is 6-0. East Brunswick on top, 5:30 remaining first period. Steal here. Whalen has it.
Oh, cross. Beautiful. Ooh.
Follow up King.
By King. And
now that was a left-handed shot by Katie
well,
Whalen, but she is left-handed.
crossover dribble and everything else.
Travel against Latchow for North Brunswick. It'll go over to East Brunswick.
Still an observation about Katie Whalen. She's having her difficulties. She's apologetic about sometimes missing and things like that. I just think she just ought to get comfortable and just play her game, because she is a quality player, excellent defensive player. Sometimes thinks a little too much, and it affects her shooting.
Well, I want to tell you a little story as soon as we get time.
Reinson looks underneath. Bloor, 2 defenders, gets it up, but it won't go. And East Brunswick's really just dominating both ends of the court. Underneath, Kamai, short. Latchow looking for some help.
Here's the pressure by Reinson.
This is Ains, gets it across.
One of the rare times.
Still by King.
Still King,
5
5
on 1 here.
And Colleen with the layup.
She has 6 points.
That's
10-0 East Brunswick, another turnover.
Number 9, turnover. And when I run out of paper, I'll stop counting turnovers.
Whalen looks, gives it to Reinson. She drives, looks underneath, no one there. Bloor gets her hands on it. Back into Courtney.
Strong move.
Now that's one of those finer moves, stronger moves, Jim, that we've seen by Courtney Bloor this year.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the type of play that the Bears need.
Steal, Reinson, layup won't go. Kamai, yes. 14-0.
And Shelby Kamai with the second basket of the night.
T.O.
And again, once again, great defense by the Bears.
Interesting that Reggie's staying with this lineup. No substitutions thus far.
Really doesn't need it with a 14-point lead.
It's usually his way to...
King in and out. Whalen left-handed.
Bingo.
I'll tell you. Getting ready to tell you that story about Katie Whalen going out against the Edison the other night. I was walking out with her and her family and told Katie, you got to shoot more. And she just simply said, I know. And as it turned out, the next game they had, she had a career-high 17 points. So I take credit for
very good
her career.
He is her mentor.
Well, she could do much better, but...
No, she is I agree with you, Phil. She's a player with excellent skills that I think just has to find herself.
Right.
Kamai fouled.
Ooh.
Our score is 16-0. East Brunswick on top with 3:07 remaining first period.
And I'll tell you, if you take a good look at Shelby Kamai, the 5'11 sophomore, AJ's big sister, I tell you, she, I've watched her in some of the JV games, and if I had one thing I would tell her over the summer is to strengthen her hands, because she gets to the ball. She's all over the court. She gets to the ball. A lot of times balls are thrown down to her, but she doesn't always come up with them. So if she strengthens her hands over the summer, she's going to be a fine ball player.
Betsy Ostrov checks in for East Brunswick. Kamai makes it.
Okay, and 5 points for Shelby Kamai, and comes out for a well-deserved rest.
And Nikki McBride comes in as well.
And we haven't seen some of the regular. Reggie Carney is sending a message. Make no mistakes about it. I don't know what the deal is, but he's sending some sort of message, because you don't have your top players sit this long without trying to give a message across.
They may not be necessary at 17 zip already.
They'll get in the game, no doubt about that, because they got to get ready for North Hunterdon. But he's trying to draw attention.
North Brunswick looking for its first point of the evening. Having difficulty. Move it around. Underneath is Opeko, and they get the first basket of the evening.
Look at him break that press, huh? Wow.
DeBloor underneath the King.
Good pass.
A mark of a good team is its ability to communicate even with interchanging players, and you can see it right there.
East Brunswick continues with its relentless pressure.
Oh, wow.
DeBloor, what a save, right to King.
Great steal.
To Whalen.
And Jim, that's a
timeout.
Tech on the bench. Is it time or is it
exactly
tech?
What it was.
It's
a technical foul.
Leo Whalen upset about something, and the official was standing right there and called the technical on him. And of course, that's a team foul and a personal foul. Jim, I was pointing out, that's what I'm talking about with Katie Whalen. Katie had an opportunity to go to the basket herself.
Yes.
Start looking around for other players, being very unselfish, but when you got the shot, you got to take it.
Right, I'm sure that's what Reggie Carney's trying to drill into her, too.
And I'll tell you, as you see Courtney Bloor going to the foul line to take the shot, Courtney Bloor's at the foul line because Reggie Carney charts everything. In practice, he charts all the foul shots, and whoever has the highest percentage in practice is the one that will shoot a technical in a game. And Courtney Bloor apparently has the highest percentage for practice this week.
Well, Courtney makes it 18-2. East Brunswick on top by 16, and Coach Whalen from North Brunswick a little stunned by the technical. Looked for an explanation. Well, none was to be found.
Well, he probably sees it as pouring water on a drowning man, and he's got to keep his cool up.
King looks inside. Bloor, and they're going to call it for a travel.
No, I think it's an offensive foul.
Yeah.
Courtney was backing up with the elbow.
Yep, you're right. They're going to call it on her.
I don't know if it's the elbow so much as she just sort of bumped her.
Officials calling a rather close game.
Okay, and that's reaching by McBride.
Ostroff.
Excuse me?
Betsy Ostroff, number 20.
Number 20, I'm sorry.
Yes.
North Brunswick looking to get some offense going, but here's another turnover, and King loses it.
Betsy Ostroff, a 5'3" sophomore. Okay, first time we've seen her this year.
Wish we could get a shot at the bench for East Brunswick. I think some of Carney's biggest headache is going to be who can he put into this game.
Blocked by King. Saved, though, by North Brunswick. They keep it alive.
If you could see Carney, he's not even looking at the game. He's talking to the bench, so he has a message. Neither were we. Who made that basket?
Latchow with the basket for North Brunswick.
Thank you, John. We're watching the bench over here.
Shot by McBride goes wide. East Brunswick trying to save it, but taken over by North Brunswick with 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in the first period. Stolen again.
That's good defense.
I'll tell you. And the Raiders are having a very difficult time, and one might imagine what it would be if the regulars were in, regular troops were there.
East Brunswick just spreading out the offense. Steal here by North Brunswick.
A little bit of a lazy pass.
Subzak with the steal, and a foul's going to be called.
Okay, and Lisa Latchaw committing the foul.
First, second.
Kim Reinson coming in the game as Colleen King takes a well-deserved rest. Colleen scoring 6 points.
McBride with the ball. Gives it to Ostrov. She drives into the corner. Shot won't go by Whalen. And a jump ball is called.
Good job by Kemi.
It'll go North Brunswick's way this time. Opeko.
Ooh.
Thought there was a foul.
And Whalen, good job on the boards.
Shot by Miller there. I agree, Jim. I thought she was fouled. At the buzzer.
Oh, yes, it's good.
And McBride hits it.
Nikki McBride.
Well, if you remember last game against Edison, Phil, she hit a couple 3-pointers, did she not? I remember that distinctly.
She's just a 5'7" freshman, and quite a thrill for her right there.
Absolutely.
Brought the crowd to its feet. Then the first period, East Brunswick's on top 21-4. Let's listen to Reggie.
Like I just said to everybody on the bench, all right? Talk in the locker room about how wonderfully our skills improved during the year, all right? Make sure you watch this game film, okay? Just take your time. Again, you cannot get in the pattern of you blow a layup, you do something crazy, and then you start. I stink, I this, I that, I this, I that. You drive yourself crazy, all right? The same group that started the game, let's go. Right, hustle.
Okay, I believe I detect a little sarcasm about, if you watch the film, you see, they've blown quite a few layups. Reggie not very pleased about that. Jim, starting team that started the game is in there now.
Right. Well, it was a very interesting observation on Carney's part, only to the effect, I think it's issuing a challenge to this team to toughen up. And, you know, people get on themselves when they think about themselves. When they think about the team, they tend to forget about themselves, and then problems can go away. So maybe that's a strategy.
East Brunswick will inbound, Risen. There's Whalen all by herself, misses the layup. Kamai follows, though, to make it 23-4.
Kamai is having herself a nice game.
I'll tell you, 7 points.
She's making the layups.
That's all you really need to do tonight. Lachow needing some help. Bloor steps in.
Ooh.
She's, Courtney Bloor's been doing some great hustling
I'll
tonight.
tell you, good hustling by both teams then.
I like Lachow, 31. She's tough. She's hanging in there.
She's a hustler. She's all over the court.
Trouble handling the ball. Ains gets it over to Opeko. Shot blocked by Whalen.
Nice move. Just 3 men out for East Brunswick.
Whalen down the middle. Bloor, Kamai looking for someone to shoot it. Back to Whalen. Across is King.
Oh, great pass.
Nice look.
And another blown layup.
And North Brunswick keeps it alive for East Brunswick. Reinson now in the corner. King, 3-pointer off the rim.
Good hustle.
And
she's fouled.
Whalen is fouled.
That's Nicknowitz, I'm sorry, Nicknowitz. I think that's her 3rd foul.
And again, as you look at Katie Whalen, the 5'10" junior, coming off a career-high 17 points versus Cerevel. And we don't want to beat a dead horse, but the point is, for next year, she's going to be an integral part of this team, and I think she's just got to put it up more. She has the ability. The more she puts it up, the more confidence she's going to have.
Lachow holding on to it, but it'll go
to the Raiders.
Yeah, I thought it was go East Brunswick way. They got it the last time.
Well, the reason why is because East Brunswick started the 2nd quarter with the possession.
That's why we have you here, Jim.
Probably the only reason. Okay.
Shot won't go. Follow up. And a travel is going to be called against Ains.
And Leo Whalen shakes his head. He saw the travel, but you might wonder if you wouldn't let us go with that call, considering the score.
East Brunswick gets it down. Reinson will take the shot. Off the rim. Rebound, North Brunswick. Ains comes up with it.
Number 44 who entered the game, Fatima Haig. She boxed out Courtney Bloor rather effectively there.
And Kamai with the steal down the Bloor.
King's open underneath. Was.
Whalen will pull it out, start things over. Drives the lane and is fouled.
And a perfect example there again, Jim. She laid it off and whatnot, but clearly had the lane to take it all the way up.
Now they're lining up. Is it a 1-on-1?
Apparently they said she was shooting. Oh, it's 1-1. Okay.
17 fouls on North Brunswick.
Oh, I missed one.
That foul was called on Opeko as Whalen goes to the line.
All right.
Follow up.
By who? I missed that completely.
I think it was Kamai.
Okay.
Or was it Bloor?
27-4. Foul against Whalen.
That's only the 4th team foul by East Brunswick.
Mandy Bosin got bopped in the nose there.
Is it Bosin?
I was told the pronunciation was Bazan. There's a 2-on-0.
Whalen to the hoop.
Okay.
Yes. Hallelujah.
She took that one when she should have passed off to
the right-handers. with the right hand, too, by the way.
29-4 with 5:10 remaining.
Good
second
shot.
period.
Good shot. And by the way,
block Whalen. She's going to be called for the foul.
She's just playing an aggressive game right now. So
we've been pinpointing her, but I'll tell you what, she has really played a great aggressive defensive game, which she always does, and some of those wonderful-looking passes, the no-look passes.
Ains goes to the line. She's a junior. Makes the first.
And Ains coming off her career high of 20 points versus Perth Amboy on Saturday. So she can put it up.
Makes both free throws. Now 29-6. Cross looking for King. Bad pass that time.
Here's Latchow who created that steal.
And King in the middle of it.
Of course.
And now it goes East Brunswick's way.
If there's a loose ball, then Colleen Kings has to be in the middle of it.
Whalen, back court.
Yeah, didn't see it.
Latchow has it blocked, but it keeps it alive. Opeko back to Latchow. Almost stolen by Bloor.
She likes to anticipate.
Shot short off the rim.
Good steal.
Wow. Steal by Reinson.
Right.
Layup. Yes.
I'll tell you.
Kim slowed up, but she still had enough time.
Ains guarded by Whalen. Blocked. Opeko. And King with the rebound.
Bloor, basket hanging.
There she is. Not this time.
Really didn't have the right angle on that one, did she?
And jump ball should be North Brunswick's.
And I'll tell you, Katie Whalen already on the floor there, and Shelby Kamai comes along and dives in the pile as well to tie him up. And you got to like it. She's just smiling at Reggie right now, and Reggie's smiling back because he's got to be pleased with her effort.
He's telling her piling on doesn't go in this sport.
Okay, Leo Whalen having a tough time tonight and trying to find some substitutes to put in the game. And for the Bears, we have a few as well.
Ostroff and McBride.
Reinson and Whalen come out. We have 3:35 remaining before halftime here at East Brunswick. The Bears on top 30-6. They came in with a 15-1 record. North Brunswick 1-13. Ains takes the shot, and King comes up with the rebound. Quickly down, looking for McBride. It will stay with East Brunswick. Ostrov, and they're going to call for traveling.
A little shuffle step. These cross-court passes, Phil, is a nemesis for North Brunswick.
Just about any kind of pass they try.
Yeah.
Drive by North Brunswick, up and off the glass.
Defended very well.
Here comes McBride. Down to Bloor.
Tried to save it, not this time.
Two players who we will not see for East Brunswick tonight. Kristen Breen, who has a broken
finger.
pinky, I noticed.
Right.
Did Reggie say how long she would be out?
He certainly didn't.
Okay. And Tomika Perez on a ginger ankle. But Kristen Breen's been coming on very nicely. She had an excellent outside shooting game, John, against Edison. And could become an important replacement in the starting lineup.
Well, and also points out the need for Reggie to really sharpen and develop his bench strength. And
it's true.
You see Katie Whalen coming back in the game, and
she's getting playing time.
And the seniors, not a senior, has moved off the bench tonight. And
foul was on King, and Miller goes to the line.
It's Colleen's first.
Our score is 30-6. East Brunswick comfortably in the lead. 2:32 remaining before halftime. Rebound Bloor. The break again. King.
Oh, that was a good pass.
To Bloor. Yes.
Ooh, nice.
Two?
Nice
Okay.
touch.
Two.
That was a good look by King.
Jim, let's, while we're looking at East Brunswick, preview from your perspective the GMCs.
Right. Okay. As I mentioned before, John, the four teams that I would think are going to be the front runners to at least make it to the semifinals are, of course, East Brunswick, the team that they lost to, J.P. Stevens, Bishop Bar, who East Brunswick beat at Bishop Bar a couple of weeks ago, and then Piscataway, who East Brunswick has beaten twice. Those four teams clearly are the class of this county.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So after that, I think it's going to be a dogfight. Nice pass, by the way.
King on the layup. Good pass from Whalen.
That's 8 points for Colleen.
And I'll
She's
tell you,
getting her layups there.
She's coming off a big game where she had 6 steals and 6 assists against Cereval. So now adding a little offensive punch as well.
So I think it's going to be a very interesting Greater Middlesex Conference tournament. And I believe East Brunswick very well should be the favorite to win that. We've seen East Brunswick at their best, and when they're at their best, I sincerely believe that no team in this county can top them. Phil, you have an opinion on that?
Well, I asked Leo Whalen who he thought would take the counties, and he said he felt East Brunswick. He felt
Laura on the follow-up. Excuse me, Phil.
He felt that East Brunswick was the team to beat. He mentioned the same 4 teams that you mentioned were easily the ones that are going to be down there when the dust clears, but he felt that East Brunswick certainly had it to take the whole thing.
Jimmy, now just move over to the other side here in Bear Country, and that is the boys. There's a chance they could be in the GMCs.
Well, Phil and I were perusing
Whalen on the layup.
And timeout. Katie Whalen hit a layup. We got a timeout right here. We got to take note of that.
7 points, by the way. As far as the boys are concerned, they are playing tonight at North Brunswick. I can't tell you how important that game is to their chances of getting the eyes of the coaches to look at them for a GMC playoff. They are on the bubble, as they call it. And this is the argument.
Oh, great
pass by Whalen.
I'll tell you, a little globetrottership. You like it, gotta like it.
And by the way, King takes the lead in scoring with 10 points on that. It's very evenly distributed with Bloor 9 and Shelby Camine 9, if we have this correct. But, okay, let's talk about, we got another steal and we have time now. The boys. We went down and perused the list of teams. East Brunswick, certainly with its current 8-10 record, is by no means one of the top 16 teams in the county, the GMC. Let's qualify that, not the county, because there are a couple of county teams that are not in the GMC, like Middlesex,
right?
So they don't qualify. So the question is, do you take a team that may be in a lower, smaller school division like the Gold?
King at the buzzer, it won't go.
I think we're going to pick this up at the second half, okay, John?
Well, it's halftime here at East Brunswick. The Bears way on top, 40-6. And really not much to say, other than the fact that we have a little story brewing and that no seniors have come out to play.
And John, I don't know if you want to talk about it now or we can pick it up at the beginning of the next half.
Yeah, let's do that, Phil, because at halftime here, we're going to honor the winners of the girls' foul shooting contest from the local elementary schools. And they are going to be presented with an award by John Emery, who is department chairperson for physical education in East Brunswick. And I understand that Coach Carney and Henning have conducted the foul shooting clinics and contests all at all the elementary schools. I guess the cheerleaders will open the door first. And so what we'll do is we'll take a short break, and after the cheerleaders are finished and the young people come out, the girls, will honor them for their foul shooting abilities. Okay, you see the young ladies who are winners from the East Brunswick foul shooting contest. This is the girls' tournament, if you will. And they were chosen by Coach Carney and Henning, who had been conducting clinics throughout the elementary school system in East Brunswick. John Emery presenting the awards. And the winners are from Central School, Lara Eilhart. From Chittick School is Cheryl Bennett. From Memorial School is Lauren Genovese. From Warrensdorfer is Lauren Hendricks. And from the middle schools, Hammersholt, the 6th grade winner is Marissa Goldberg. And the 7th grade winner is Sarah Polson. So to all those young ladies, we congratulate them for their efforts and their success. And we wish them all the best and hope they continue throwing that ball through that hoop.
Well, I'll tell you, they are the future Bear stars, and it's a good beginning here. And it's a big thrill for them, John, you know, just to have the opportunity to get out there and get involved in the contest. Then to come to your local high school to be presented a trophy, it's got to be some kind of thrill for the young ladies. So,
and while we have a moment, you see the, if we can get the camera on the John Emery, who is handing out the trophies. And we've mentioned John's name a number of times over the years during the football season. And if you had never seen him, that's who he is. But John is retiring after this year, after I believe he said 37 years of teaching.
37 years?
Yep. John was former varsity coach of the boys basketball team at one time. And is here just as much as Mike Plumby for the most part.
Okay.
There's John.
They're going to try a little foul shooting here, I believe.
I guess we're going to have a winner among winners.
And there is a good shot of the girls, if we can get the camera on them. Okay.
They're going to hand in their trophies.
Oh, John's going to bring them to the line.
You think this is not pressure? I mean, that ball probably weighs a ton. I bet you there's no medal hit for the first 3 shots.
Well, if you're teaching them, there won't be.
And to make matters worse, here comes the Lady Bear varsity to watch.
They fooled me. Medal was hit.
You better watch they don't sink these, Phil.
See, that's what I mean. You get in front of a crowd and then up at the high school, that ball weighs a ton right now. Not like it usually does in your backyard.
That sounds like experience talking.
I've been there.
Mr. Choke, wasn't it?
All right.
All right. We got one.
Have a winner.
Well,
you know, if you want to look at the success of East Brunswick High School's basketball team, particularly the girls, it's these kind of things that spark interest in young people to want to play the sport. And that's really where it all starts. I mean, as we know, we've been covering this team for about 11 years now, all the teams here at the high school. It doesn't start when they get to the high school level.
No. As a matter of fact, to do a story, I guess it was the Cerebral coach who was talking about the fact that when East Brunswick has years and years of development, they only get about 4 years. because that's when he gets a hold of the program.
Well, let me tell you about the Sayreville program. They feel so strongly about the development of basketball in the younger schools that they were given, of course, a budget restraint over at Sayreville. They decided to scrap the freshman program in favor of having a middle school program. And that's how important Sherry Popowski was one of the proponents of that. And that shows you how what they feel about developing skills at the younger age.
Well, as John Emery wraps up the ceremonies, we again wish those young ladies much success and hope they continue to shoot that basketball.
And the winner walks towards a camera. We really don't have, we haven't matched her name. Let's see if we get it.
We don't know who it is.
And Reggie Carney gives her.
She gets a shirt.
Oh, wow.
We're going to get her name before we're done.
Not just a shirt, she gets 2 shirts.
And a pair of shorts.
All right.
We're doing something wrong here, gentlemen. Anyway, we'll be back with halftime, the start of the third period, rather, in just a moment. As you see the East Brunswick Bears breaking out of the huddle, getting ready for the start of the third period, we want to announce that the winner of the shoot-off, if you will, at halftime was Sarah Polson, 7th grader from Hammershoal.
Oh, so we got it.
So
good reporting work.
As we look out on the court, seniors at last. These are the first seniors that have hit the court today. Okay. North Brunswick has none, and first time Kara Mataseski and Jan Prizabar on the court today.
With a 40-6 lead. Should be fun watching these three-pointers now.
There's Jan, 32, and there's Kara, the two seniors, as we've said. And East Brunswick just moving the ball around.
And that's what you're going to see here. You're going to see some good fluid ball movement, so I say that and they have a turnover. But that's what you should watch for in a situation like this.
Latchow throws it up. Prissa comes down with it.
Because this is about as dominating a team as you can have or in this sequence against North Brunswick. And you should watch them with their perimeter passing, shooting from outside.
King gives it to Mataseski, inside to Bloor. Lost by Bloor off of North Brunswick. King will inbound. Mataseski off the glass, rebound Ains.
Layups haven't been falling for anyone today.
If people hang around, and we might be seeing a practice after this game on layup drills.
I think we mentioned in the first half that East Brunswick takes on North Hunterdon Thursday. Actually, it's South Hunterdon, from what I understand.
I'm sorry.
Which is from Lambertville area. They usually have, not usually, they always have quality basketball teams out there. Hunterdon Central is an excellent team also, by the way.
They just happen to have the second best player in the state of New Jersey, female player playing for them, Colleen McCrae. So they'll be tough.
I know that Hunterdon Central is, I think, undefeated. And that could be a likely opponent for East Brunswick in Central Jersey Group 4.
That's the state tournament.
Yes.
Mataseski will take it again. No go this time either.
So, John, I want to pick up on the boys, okay?
Yeah.
So the question arises, and Phil, I wanted you to get your opinion on this about whether or not a team such as an East Brunswick that is clearly among the top 16 teams in the county, yet not record-wise because of the quality of competition, be disallowed to play in the tournament in favor of, say,
Prissa ball by herself with the basket.
Gold and blue division teams that do not, that have better records.
Well, you know, it depends where you sit, Jim. If you're one of them teams, you certainly don't want to be discriminated against just because of the conference that you play in. If you have a decent record and whatnot, you want some consideration there. You've played everybody that's scheduled for you in your conference, and you don't feel you should be penalized.
Bloor is fouled underneath.
So from their point of view, I understand it. But if you're talking about overall strength for the county, and you're right, the Bears, we're talking about the guys right now, would have to certainly be in that top 16 to go. As I said, they've beaten, they lost by a buzzer beater to St. Joseph. They beat Bishop R, which is I believe second in the white division. They played Perth Amboy extremely tough.
Knocked off Saraville their last game.
And they belong. They belong. It's simple as that. But if I'm another coach and I look at the record, and I just might not put them in.
If you're another coach, you may be frightened of an 8-10 team.
Exactly.
So if I read you correctly, Phil, you feel strongly both ways.
Yes.
And that's what makes this so interesting.
The point is knowing if you really want the best teams, then East Brunswick would have to be one of them. If you want to talk about equity or fairness and respect for record-wise and whatnot, they could conceivably be left out.
Our score is 43-6. East Brunswick against North Brunswick, and that's why we're taking some liberties and talking about some other sports and activities and interests. We'll try to keep you updated on scoring and activities as they happen. That's King with the ball to Whalen.
John, I had a chance to talk to East Brunswick girls winter track coach Brian Merrigan, who we all know as being the co-head coach for the girls soccer team. Brian, interestingly, I really didn't know this, but that team has not lost a dual meet since 1987.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just this year, let's see if I can get my things untracked here. They finished second in the GMC relays to Madison Central and third in the individual winter track championships to Madison Central and Piscataway. Some familiar names on that team. The best GMC 4x200 team is
First up underneath, excuse me, Jim.
That's okay.
2 points.
Ajita Ranadive, junior Stacy Morgan, sophomore Lisa Rabi, we know her, and Carrie Herman, who's a sophomore. And they did a 151.3 in the 4x200 to win the GMCs, finished fourth in the state Group 4.
That's getting up, gentlemen.
Oh, yes. So they're moving away here. The hurdles team finished fourth in the states with a 342, and that's Lisa and Jeannie Rabi, and Jen Calvano and Sherry Cheng.
Press up underneath, turns. Not this time. Bloor with the follow-up and the hook. Makes it 47-6.
And Courtney Bloor with 14 points right now to lead the Bears.
Some of the distance runners for the winter track team. Karen Bissop, we know her, and Tina Karzima. Both seniors, good distance runners. Grace Cham and Nabila Dalawala are in the high jump, both having jumped 4.8. Amanda Smith and Zita Maliga in the 800 meters.
Could I hear that high jump name again, Jim?
Dalawala.
Very good.
Okay.
Whalen. 49-6. Jim, if we can move back to the hardwood for a moment, as you look at East Brunswick girls, how do you see them shaping up in the state tournament?
Oh boy, you're asking a tough one here, huh? All game, Phil and I have been bemoaning the fact that this team is not doing layups the right way. They're missing them. They're lackadaisical. The seniors were benched. Reggie Carney's hope is that all this comes together come tournament time, and we're not talking. You're talking states now.
Prissip, good move to the hoop.
Right. So I think their success is totally dependent on how that offensive game comes together. They are superb defensively. We see that every night. And as a matter of fact, their defense has probably saved them a couple of times. But when it comes to push and shove, when they play that Piscataway in that Central Jersey Group 4, maybe, or whoever it is that they're going to meet there, how are they going to perform? Can they go to that next level? I don't have the answer to that yet.
Well, two other seniors just came in the game after not seeing any. You got Trisha Flanagan and Maureen Varela. So 4 seniors on the court now.
The lone underclassman, number 24. No, I'm sorry, that's Trish Flanagan. Colleen King is the lone underclassman. Shot by Ains. Prissip saves. Right to Mataseski.
Sorry, John. I don't believe North Brunswick has hit from the outside tonight yet. They've had two two-pointers and 2 foul shots.
Varela shot off the rim. And Phil, I got to ask, because I've been sitting here now watching Leo Whalen. I don't know if it's harder to coach a good team or harder to coach a team that's struggling.
It may be harder to coach a good team, yeah. I mean, it may seem easier to the fans when your team's poor and have a poor record like they do. Your perspective changes and whatnot. So you look for bright spots. And he knows he has a very young team here. As I said, they were an incredible 16-5 last year, 12-2 in the conference. He certainly expected to have a tougher time in the red division, but nothing like what has happened here. And then expound on that a little bit, John, as Ains hits the second foul shot.
Bingo. Who was
Basket
that?
by Flanagan.
Okay.
Flanagan.
They didn't want to come into the red division. Matter of fact, they made a point that they had a small program. Not that they were a small school, but they had a small program. Only 22 kids.
Latch out, three-pointer.
Hey, there's your first outside shot.
Only 22 kids in the entire system coming out for basketball for the girls. So they said they had a small program, felt they shouldn't have had to move into red division. But as you can see, they lost out.
You know what? I agree with them, Phil. I really do. I don't think you need to be subjected to playing in the largest school division if you don't have the program to go with it, because that's what the whole purpose of the Greater Middlesex Conference is about, is to have flexibility
and
within parity within sports.
North Brunswick fighting underneath. Phil, you made an interesting comment before that Coach Whalen was surprised by the type of play in the red division versus the white.
Well, I don't think he was surprised about it because he knew what happened in red division. He just said in the white division they sort of sit back a little bit more and you just play your game. In the red division, everybody presses you, and witness J.B. Stevens and Piscataway and the teams like that. The pressure is the difference there, and for young teams to handle the type of pressure that they put on the red division is asking a bit much.
Let me throw a little reverse on that. Talking to Madison Central boys basketball coach Eddie Chester, they moved to the red division this year, and guess what? They're 0-16 right now. However, he feels that it's a little easier playing in the red division than in the white division because that the teams that they play in the white division, first of all, Madison doesn't have a quality program. They don't get the numbers, the players, even though they have a reputable sports program in other sports. But because of teams in the white division trying to prove that they are worthy of being named in tournaments and things like that, will sort of run the score up. And that was Ed Chester's chief complaint.
Interesting.
Well, what is the status with the Old Bridge schools? There was some talk about combining those schools.
Not talk. Done.
It's done.
Well,
it's absolutely done.
Is it done, Jen? I thought there was litigation to still take place.
The litigation has been settled, okay? And now we have a situation where the Old Bridge schools are going to combine high school-wise. That will probably take place in '94.
Mataseski, left-handed layup.
And Kara Mataseski's first 2 points of the night, and this game certainly will affect her overall average. I don't think she's terribly concerned about it.
1 second remaining, third period, that'll be it. Bears on top, 55-11.
Phil, I should qualify that. You're right in that there was litigation. There's going to probably be a lot of suits that are be brought on concerning that.
That's my point. It's not a dead issue.
I would say, if to put a percentage on it, I would say it's probably 95% sure that it's going to happen. And of course, we're looking at Reggie Carney here, talking about his East Brunswick team that's up 55-11. But obviously the things I think about are the football programs, the wrestling programs. Right. Good Lord. There's a running joke that Jerry Bandola, the Cedar Ridge coach, and Kenny Scott, the Madison Central coach, are going to have a wrestle-off to determine who's going to be the coach. Football-wise, Bob DeMarco, Madison Central, Cedar Ridge with an up-and-coming program. They ought to be a powerhouse football-wise. Should be really something to look at.
As you look at, again, the Lady Bears going back on the court, all underclassmen, very much underclassmen. For the last time tonight, let's close the issue. Reggie Carney is sending a message to the seniors without a doubt. Reggie Carney is saying we have South Hunter in the play on Thursday. We're getting ready for the counties. We should be focused. Reggie Carney's a no-nonsense coach. Kara Mataseski, who comes in with about a 19-point average, has 2 points, clearly going to affect her average. That would not be done unless Reggie's trying to send a very clear message. It's at a point in time where nobody really gets hurt by it because North Brunswick's not going to hurt them. And if he's trying to regain their attention to get them focused where they should be at this point in time.
Nice shot.
Nice shot by Ostroff.
Then he's got it. In fairness to the kids, though, I want to say on the other hand, you remember last year we were talking about Erica Ware and senioritis and how very tough it can be if you are a senior at this time of the year there. So the kids are sort of fighting both things, wanting to do some of the things that other kids do and bond with them, and yet being loyal to the team. They've been extremely loyal to the team by all the hours that they put in. But by the same token, Reggie as a coach still has to send messages when he has to send messages. And I think that's what's been done tonight, and I think we can let it lie there.
Yeah, the clear message is no one is bigger than the team, and Reggie has pointed that out in a very subtle way to the seniors this year, or this game rather. Our score is 57-13, East Brunswick on top. In fact, they've been on top from the opening tip-off. And so we've taken some liberties here talking about other things around basketball and other sports affecting East Brunswick High School.
And we got a few new people in there. I see we got Amy Hansen, a 5'6" sophomore in the game. Now number 12.
Hey, go ahead, John.
Go ahead.
I was going to talk about the wrestling team. Congratulations to them winning the Greater Middlesex Conference Wrestling Tournament Championship.
Coach Glenn Pazinko.
For Glenn Pazinko, edging out Madison Central.
What a job.
135 to 131. Boy, that went right down to the last match. I was there on Saturday night. I got to see some of the kids, well, actually all the kids in the finals, and we should note that Mark Gensler won the 103-pound championship. Brian Lee captured third place in 108 pounds. Let's see, moving into 130-pound class, Jay Aguilera finished runner-up to one of the state's best wrestlers, Paul Pazolka from Madison Central. That's no dishonor there. Mike Capodanno won the 135-pound championship for East Brunswick with a rather big win, very important win as a matter of fact, pulling out a last-second win over Alex Trahim over Madison, which had implications towards winning that championship. Let's see, Andy Maystrick finished runner-up finished in fourth place in 140-pound class. Sean Daly finished in second place in 152, and Josh Zuckerman finished in third place in 160 pounds. And that rounded out the wrestling accomplishments.
You know what I'd like to see, just a comment on wrestling there. For a while, it seemed the last couple of years that the orientation was to individual wrestlers. And I'm glad to see the team concept coming back into vogue in wrestling. And then you'll have your individual honors when you get to the counties and regions and states. But I'm glad to see that, and more importantly, glad to see that the Bears are back on top in the wrestling world again.
And Miss Ostroff has hit another basket.
She makes it 59-13 with 6 minutes remaining in the game.
Betsy Ostroff, a 5'3" sophomore.
We're still trying to figure out whether East Brunswick is going to get a home meet match in the Central Jersey Group 4 team titles, as you're talking about,
in
championships.
Yeah.
From what we understand, there's 4 teams that are in Hunterdon Central, Howell Township, East Brunswick, and I believe Manalapan. Now, the problem that existed is that Howell Township may have been disqualified from the NGSIAA for some infraction last year. That has not been clarified. If Howell is in, East Brunswick becomes the 3rd seed, and Howell will host East Brunswick a week from tomorrow, Wednesday.
Okay, Dana Ains with another basket for the Raiders.
I tell you, you have to admire the hustle by North Brunswick, though. These young ladies are still in there fighting. They're looking at this as though the score were tied.
Well, Whalen, and I should mention no relationship to the East Brunswick Whalens, has pointed out that he has a young team, and they will do their very best. They're going to take their lumps, but because they're young, he thinks they're going to develop in the next year.
Jimmy, any chance that North Brunswick can petition the GMC and move back out of the red division?
They can only do it every 2-year cycles. So this is the first year of their participation. So they're going to have to take the lumps for the remainder of this year and next year.
And we should note that Frank Knoppenberger, who's the supervisor of athletics here at East Brunswick, is president of the GMC.
thankless
Kamai
job.
on the break, and
block.
she's fouled.
That is a thankless job by Mr. Knoppenberger, I assure you, that he takes all the brunt of all these schools that come to him, coaches, and complain, just as perhaps North Brunswick is about their being inserted into the red division.
I don't know if it's thankless. Also, some prestige certainly attached to the fact that you are for the county, and Frank Knoppenberger's done a good job. And you look at Shelby Kamai, we straighten out that score. Shelby has 7 points as she goes to the line right now. And make that 8. Nice touch.
Makes it 60-15.
And she's such an intense player, and I think if she can corral some of that intensity, strengthen those hands, she'll be a real good one. Okay.
Makes the second. Ostroff took the ball out after East Brunswick made the free throws.
That's a good one.
That'll make the highlight film. She can't get enough. She wants that ball. Steal. And the layup.
I'll tell you,
nice play by Amy Hansen.
That's Cliff's daughter, Cliff a Ram Bear, a former South River Ram, and also, of course, now a Bear. And I had to get that in.
Do you get paid for these? And you collect royalties on this? Ains for North Brunswick, having a tough night. Foul by Kamai.
Yeah, they say that she hacked him.
So a timeout being called. And let's hear what Reggie has to say to his young players.
You want to set up guard series with him? Here. Grab a seat, grab a seat, grab a seat.
Hey, woo! Amy, you're out here. Shelby, you're here. Jim, you got the ball. Betsy and Nikki. Don't forget guard series. What do we do? We screen down. When the ball pops out, the pass goes to the wing, and this forward comes up and screens. Don't forget we're doing option 2.
Well, in effect, not Reggie Carney speaking, but assistant coach
Marianne Lewis.
Marianne Lewis.
What better than to have the regular coach?
Come on, let's go. Keep it up. Come on, keep going.
A good point. We've had nothing but underclassmen in there. Marianne Lewis coaches them on a regular basis there, and Reggie Carney again. We like to talk about Reggie Carney liking complete control of everything, but they're releasing some of the control. Marianne Lewis taking over and doing a good job with her troops.
Some of the best coaches are those that can delegate authority.
Well, it's easy when you're leading 63-15.
Sure, the pressure was taken off.
Unfortunately, we don't have a number on this young lady at the line for...
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
number
don't.
44 is Fatima Haig,
All right.
H-A-G-G.
Fatima
at the line missing the first. It's the second.
Okay.
63-16 is our score. 4:20 remaining in the game.
We've seen very little outside shooting tonight by both teams, actually.
Looking inside, no one there. And a foul's going to be called. Kamai.
Look at the intensity on her face.
And we're in a bonus situation.
Maybe that's the type of intensity that Reggie wants to see.
And as I said, those that work hard in practice, you better believe we're the first people off the bench to be inserted in this game. And that's let's be fair to the other players who have been working hard, including the seniors all year. They put in an awful lot of time. I mentioned that Southern tour last week, and when you consider that and the amount of practice that they do, I don't think there's no questioning. There's no questioning their commitment or loyalty or dedication to the program, to the team, or to the game.
Jim, it may be worth taking a moment to explain the fact that St. John Vianney game has been canceled.
Yes, we did make light of that. I haven't been able to get to the bottom of it. You talk to a couple of people. The people from St. John claim that the game should have been held on their court. and after East Brunswick people say it should have been on this court, they just threw their hands up and said, we're not going to play. So that's the bottom line. That's upsetting because I understand that St. John Vianney was counting on this game as being important to them to get up in the rankings.
Well, they're about
Kamai on the follow-up.
They wanted to play East Brunswick at their gym because they had no other out-of-conference home games other than East Brunswick. So they really had a commitment to that game, and unfortunate. But these two teams could meet if East Brunswick is fortunate enough to win Group 4 and St. John win Parochial A.
Well, I'll tell you, St. John Vianney is already up in the poll. You can't go much higher than they are. I think they're either number 2 or 3 in the state. And but be that as it may, they can't do anything about that. But they have a team that is certainly Amy Hansen, second basket. And Meggiolaro, who's right now is number 1, rated number 1 in the county at least by the Home News. And
Somerset County you're talking about.
Yes, and on February 17th, the Bears will be meeting Meggiolaro, so that should be a good one.
And we do not know where that game is going to be played, by the way. And that relates to the wrestling tournament that I was talking to you before.
Right.
Okay, now I've just gotten word from our producer Dave Ambrosi that the game is here, and the reason for that is that East Brunswick supposedly is playing Howell Township at Howell Township for the wrestling match. So I guess East Brunswick had the first call on that being a home basketball game.
And
Traveling call against North Brunswick. The way we have it is the girls' next home game will be 17th, as Jimmy said, against the Meggiolaro here. And then the rest of their schedule, they play Thursday at South Hunterdon, and then on Saturday at Ewing. And then East Brunswick would be home against, as we mentioned, the Meggiolaro.
And we have a reach-in by Amy Hansen, and I'll tell you, Shelby Kamai has 13 points, and you'd be hard-pressed to find bigger sports fans than her parents. You know, if there's a basketball game around, whether it's at St. Bart's or somewhere, they're there. They enjoy their sports, so got to be a good feeling for them to see their daughter have such a fine game.
And she has had that. I mean, she's played outstanding. And if you're Reggie Carney, boy, you can't be anything but pleased. These are the players of the future for him.
Oh, nice turnaround look.
McBride off the rim.
She did not hesitate.
Ostrov saves. Back to McBride, looks inside. Hansen won't go. Kamai, no.
She wanted that one.
And the Bears get the break.
69-16 is our score. We have 54 seconds remaining. And a foul called inside against Kamai. Oh, they're calling it against
the Raiders, yes. Kamai will go to the foul line. And I tell you, if Kamai sinks these baskets, she can take over the scoring leadership for tonight. Ooh.
Look at her hustle to that ball, though, huh? Causes the steal.
Hansen won't go. Ball's alive. North Brunswick comes up with it.
Go ahead and shoot. Why not?
Yeah, now isn't the time to be, you know, the passer.
Well, they're being a little discriminating here for what reason, I don't know.
20 seconds. Shot. Ooh.
And
push there.
Yeah.
That was Misty Ingram.
Right. Amy Hansen got knocked from the back, and we're in a 1-and-1 situation, I believe.
17 seconds remaining.
Amy Hansen, just the 5'6" sophomore, and again, the Bears just seem to have ball players all over the place. Again, we talk about program, and Reggie Carney slowly but surely has developed one of the most solid basketball programs in the state of New Jersey.
Ostrov, who looks to be the future playmaker of this team, doing a good job keeping the ball alive.
What do they got?
And Kamai's shot was stopped.
I'll tell you, taking the basket away. And we go down the other end for 1-and-1.
Michelle Miller.
Michelle Miller, 5'4" junior.
And Michelle makes it 69-17.
And Whalen says he's actually had 4 freshmen at different times on the court. Right now, a mixture of sophomores and juniors, with a freshman thrown in here and there.
Well, you just hope that a program like at North Brunswick, that it attracts some attention and the kids come out. We're down to 2 seconds, and that should be it. And it's a final here from East Brunswick, a rather easy time of it for the Bears. 69-18 as the game comes to an end. And there's really not much. We've covered it all. But really,
haven't covered, John.
Yeah, I was going to ask you guys what you're doing this summer, but I thought I'd hold off on that.
Yeah.
But more importantly, East Brunswick's looking at tournaments, and that's really where their focus needs to be. As we mentioned, Reggie made a statement to the seniors and to the team
Well,
that their commitment's needed.
Not so much commitment, because I think the commitment is there, but focus is needed. You're running an important time. They're going up to South Hunterdon. I talked about Colleen McCrae being the second best player, girl player in the state behind Tamika Dixon from Linden. They better be ready. They're going to be on a foreign court, and anything can happen. After that, they're pretty soon heading for the counties, and they got to have a feeling that we owe Middlesex County something, and we want to show it. And this is going to be the opportunity. And if they're going to do that, they got to be focused.
All right, that's about it from East Brunswick High School. Again, the Bears winning easily over North Brunswick. So for Phil Hill and Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.